Hey, hi friends, this is Bakapa. Welcome back to Testers Talk channel. In the previous rest assured A/B testing tutorial, I have discussed how to configure Allure report, and also I have discussed how to generate the Allure report for the rest assured A/B testing. In this chapter 8 of rest assured A/B testing tutorial, I will discuss how to perform the data-driven testing using the JSON file. Now I will start discussing about how to perform the data-driven testing using the JSON file in the rest assured A/B testing. So let's look at the first scenario, and here I'll open the postman tool. So this is the create booking API. So basically if I make the post API call, we are getting the response as a 200 and we are getting that booking ID. So here we are passing the all the parameters, right? The first name, last name, total price, deposit paid, booking dates, and the additional needs. So in our case, we will try to pass the first name and last name from the JSON file. So we will pass the first set of test data and our test will get execute. That means it will create the booking. And second time we will pass the second set of test data, that is the first name and last name, and it will make the post API call. And we'll pass the third set of test data and it will create the booking and we'll get the status code as 200 and also we'll get the proper API response. So that's it guys, this is what we are going to implement it in the couple of minutes. So that's all about the scenario, and now I am coming back to the Eclipse. So let's create the test data file. So under the src test resources folder, I am creating the JSON file. So here I'll say new and I will choose the file option. Here I'm giving the file name as test data json.json. So here we are creating the JSON file. Inside this we will add the test data. So here we are adding the array of JSON objects. So that's the reason here I'm adding the square brackets. So inside this one I'm adding the JSON objects. So here I'm just creating the JSON object, and inside this I am creating the keys and the respective values. So here I'm saying the double quotes colon and followed by double quotes. So let's say first name, and followed by that I'm adding the another key called last name, and we will add the respective value also. So here I'm saying API testing by, and in the last name I'll say testers top. That's it. So let's add the another two JSON objects. So simply I will copy this JSON object and I will paste it here. So let me maximize this window, and after that I will add the another JSON object. That's it. Right now we are having the three set of test data, right? So this is the first set of test data we have, this is the second set of test data we have, and this is the third set of test data we have. So firstly we have added the proper values in the first JSON object. In the second JSON object we will add, here I'll say rest assured by tester stock, and in the third JSON object I will say postman by tester stock. So that's it. So we have the test data file ready, and let's add the file location of this test data. So here I will go to the com.testautomation.aptesting.utils package. Under this we have the class called file name constants.java file. So here I'll add the path of our JSON test data file. So simply I'll copy this line, and then here I'll say the string variable name as JSON test data. That's it. So let's add the file name here. So we have the file name as test data json.json. So let's add the test data json.json. That's it guys. So we have the test data file is ready, and also we have specified the file location of the test data. So now I will go to the com.testautomation.aptesting.tests package. So here I'm creating the one TestNG class. So here I'll say class. Here I'm selecting the TestNG class, and I will add the class name as data driven testing using JSON file. So that's it. So here we got the data driven testing using JSON file class, right? So now we have the test ready, and let's add the test name as, so let me maximize a little bit. So here I'm adding the test name as, here I'm saying data driven testing using JSON. So that's it, guys. So we can use the @data provider from the TestNG framework, and we can achieve the data driven testing in the REST assured API testing. So basically, by using the annotation data provider, we can write the logic to read the file and fetch the all the test data from the test data file, and that data we can pass on to the this particular test, right? So let's implement the @data provider, and after implementing that method, we will come back to the @test, and here we will write the code for making the post API request. So here I'm adding the @data provider, and inside this I will specify the name as get test data. That's it. Then followed by that, here I'm adding the method name public. Here I'm adding the return type of this is object array. So that's it. Then I'll say get test data using JSON. So that's it, guys. So this is a very simple method. So at the end, we need to return the object array. So that's the reason what I will do is, so simply I will create the object array, and here I'll say obj as a reference variable, and I will assign the null as of now, and then I will return the this obj. That's the object array. So that's it, guys. So let me just hit some down spaces. So let's create, after creating a spaces, so now we can add the code properly, right? So now let's read the test data file first. So what I will do is, after the line number 16, here I'm adding the code. So here I'm using the file utils class dot, here I'm calling to the method called read file to string. So inside this we have to specify two parameters. First one is a file location, so we need to pass the file object. So here I'm saying just comma, so here we have to pass the UTF-8 encoding, and here we have to pass the object of the file. So inside the file we have to specify the file location, so that this particular method will read the our test data file, our JSON test data file, and returns us the in the form of string. Then we can assign back to the string variable. So here I'm using the file name constants, and here I'm just specifying the file location. So this particular variable contains the our JSON file test data location, right? So simply I will specify the JSON test data. That's it. And after that, I will assign back to the string. Here I'll say JSON test data. So that's it. Okay, guys. So now we can import the file from the java.io. So that's it, guys. So after reading the JSON test data file, so what we have to do is simply we need to use the JSON path dot read. So inside this we have to pass the our test data, that is we have stored it in the string. So we have to pass this particular JSON test data, and after that, and we have to pass the one simple expression, that is simply I'm writing the dollar. That's it, guys. So this will be used to separate the all the JSON object from the JSON test data file. So that's it. So now let's surround this with the try and catch block. Here I'll say surround with and try and catch block. That's it. So once we have use this particular JSON dot read. So this will returns us the JSON array. So here I'm assigning back to the JSON array, and here I'll say JSON array. That's it. So you can import the JSON array from the net.minidev.json. That's it, guys. So now if you look at in the line number 25, so just we have created the object array and we have not created the object of the object array, right? Because we don't know the size. Now we are having the JSON array. That's the JSON object, right? So this will return us the how many JSON objects are there. So that based on that we can create our JSON object, right? And we can define the size of the array also. Now I will use the obj equal to, and here I'll say new object, and inside this simply I will use the JSON array reference variable. By using this one, simply I will say the size. So this returns me the number of JSON objects are present inside the JSON test data file. So that's it, guys. Now, so almost 60% of the logic is already we have implemented. Now we have to take one by one JSON object from this JSON array. We have to assign back to our object array. So that's the reason here I'm adding the for loop. So by using this for loop, we can get one by one JSON object from this JSON array. We can assign back to our object array. So here I'll say JSON dot size. So simply I'm iterating through this JSON array. So by using this JSON array, here I'll say dot get of index. That's it. So let's say if I got the first JSON object from the test data file, and I will take this obj, and here I'll say obj of I, and simply I'm taking the object of the JSON array and I'm assigning back to our object array. That's it, guys. So this particular loop will be taking care of getting all the JSON object from this particular test data JSON file, and it will assign back to our object array. And finally, if you look at here, so finally we are returning our object array, right? So that's it, guys. So this is a very simple logic for data driven testing using the JSON file. So that's what we have to do it in the data driven testing using the JSON file. So we are done with the implementing the @DataProvider using the TestNG, right? So now let's come back to our @test. So let's add the data provider name first. So for example, if in case if you are having multiple data provider in the same class, so it's better to mention the name of the data provider, so that whenever you are calling whenever you are passing your test data to the particular method, and it will be very useful. So simply I'm taking this data provider name, and here I'm simply specifying the data provider, and in the string I'm specifying the name of the data provider, and also you can specify the @data provider method name also. You can pass the get test data using the JSON also. So right now we are using the name of the data provider. So that's it, guys. So now we have to make the post API request using the REST threshold, right? So what I will do is simply I will go to the one class called post API request using POJOs. So here we have created the post API request by using the POJOs, right? So simply I will copy this code. So we are just making the post API request, guys. In this case, nothing else we are doing it. So simply I'll open this, and here I'll add the code for that. So simply I will delete which is not required as of now. So this line is also not required. I will delete this line. So let's see what exactly. So this simply you can add the throws declaration. That's not an issue. That's it, guys. So if you look at this one, so here we are creating the object of the booking dates, and we are passing the check-in date and checkout date. And in the booking class object, we are passing the first name, last name, and additional needs, total price. So all the details, right? So that's it. It is very pretty straightforward. And then finally, here we are making the post API request by using the REST assured, right? So now, so after specifying the data provider name, so inside the our test method name, simply add the linked hash map. And here I'll say the generic type as string and string. And here I'll specify the reference variable name as test data. So once we are having the linked hash map, so usually we can access the data by using the key, right? So all the values will be stored in the form of key and value. By using the key, we can access the respective test data. So simply you can import it from the java.util. That's it, guys. So now we are having the test data file. Sorry, test data reference variable. By using this one, we can access the all the test data which is there inside the our test data JSON file. We can access this particular first name by just specifying the first name. So here I'm coming back to the our data driven testing file, and so let's pass the first name. For this line number 29, here we are passing the first name and the last name. So as of now, we are passing the first name and last name from the our test data file, right? So simply I will replace this with the test data dot, here I'll say get. Inside this I will specify the key name. So similarly I will add it for the last name also. That's it. So now we have to specify the key. So which value we want to read it, right? So let's go to the test data JSON file. Let's copy this first name and we'll paste it here. That's it. Let's do it for the last name also. So that's it, guys. So we are able to pass the test data from the linked hash map to the booking class, right? So after that, so we want to print all the API request details and all the API response details into the log file. So that's the reason in the line number 37. So simply I will add the filter dot. So dot filter, and inside this we'll add the object of the rest assured listener. That's it, guys. So this will add the all the details into the our log file, right? So we are done with the implementation part. So let me summarize what we have done once again. So firstly, we have created the test data JSON file, and after that we have added the file location of the test data JSON file, and after that we have created the Java class, that is data driven testing using file, I said. So let's modify this particular class name. Here I'll say refactor, and I'll say JSON file, I'll say, instead of just file. So that's it. I hope it is updated everywhere. So okay, great. So it is updated. So we have created the Java class called data driven testing using JSON file, and inside this we have added the one test, and that is accepting the test data from the data provider. So this contains the logic for reading the test data from the JSON file and passing on to the our test one by one, right? So first time it will pass the this particular set of test data and it will create the booking, and second time it will pass the second set of test data and it will create the booking. Then third time it will pass the this particular first name and last name and it will create the booking. So all these details you should be able to see in the our log4j log file. So now let's convert this class into the TestNG suite file. So here I'm saying TestNG, under that I'm selecting the convert to TestNG, and here I will select the suits folder and I'll say okay, and here I'm adding the suite name as data driven testing using JSON. That's it, guys. So I'll specify the suite name as data driven testing using JSON. That's it. So now I will click on finish. So after creating a suite file, we should be able to see the one suite file under the suits folder. So it is added as the separate folder. So let's delete this part. So we'll add it one more time because we have not specified the .xml. So let's right click on the same class and let's go to the convert to TestNG. So here again I'm clicking on the browse. Let's select the suits folder and I will click on OK. And inside this suits we have to add the data driven testing using JSON, and I'll say .xml. Last time we missed to add the .xml, and here I'll say suit name as just data driven testing. That's it, guys. So now click on finish button, and now this time we should be able to see the suit file here, right? So we got the suit file, and let's execute the TestNG suit file now. Here I'll say run as and TestNG suit. So let's open the console. So if you look at this one, it is started making all the calls. First it has passed the AP testing by tester stock, and then it has got the response, and second time it is passed at the rest assured by tester stock and it is got the response, and third time it is passed at the postman by tester stock, then finally it is got the response. And if you look at here, total test is 3 because we have passed 3 set of test data from the JSON file. And let's go to the our log file now. So here I'll go to the logs folder. Inside this we have the app logs.txt file. Let's open this one. So if you look at here, so this is a request it has made first time, and it is passing the EPA testing by tester stock, and it is got the response here, right? And the second time it is passing the rest assured by tester stock, and it is got the response here. And third time it is passed the postman by tester stock, and then it is got the response here. So this is how we can implement the data driven testing using the JSON file. And I have one assignment for you. You can try to pass all the details. For example, here we are having additional needs, total price, deposit paid, and booking dates we have, right? So you can pass all these data from the our JSON test data file, and also at the end. So if you look at here, just we are validating the status code. You can try to validate all the values, that is a first name, last name, and all other fields. So that will be your assignment. You can try at your end and let me know if you are facing any issues while implementing the data-driven testing using the JSON file. You can simply add the comments in the comment section so that I can help you out quickly. So this is all I have in this session. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. This is Bakapa. Welcome to API testing full course. You can access all the exercise which we have done in the whole API testing course. I have already provided this link in the video description. So anyone can access this link, and also you can get the whole collections and also the environment variable details. So you can take that URL which is there in the description of this below video and paste it in the web browser. And after that, so once it is opened, so you need to export this collections into your local system. So it will open like this after accessing the link. So this is a public access URL which I have shared it. You can click on this booking API. You can see all the APIs are there inside the 2 folders. So what you can do is you can click on this 3 dots and you can export it. So you can click on this export, and firstly you can export this booking API collection, and after that on the right side you can select the booking API environment, and after that click on this icon and click on the edit. Then you can click on 3 dots and you can click on this export. So this will export the environment variable details. So after exporting it, so you will get these 2 files. And once you have these 2 files, you can go to the postman and you can click on this import and make sure that you are there in this file tab, and you can click on choose files, and you can select the first leak collection, that's the postman collection, and you can open it. And after that you can click on import. So firstly you can load the postman collection, and after that you can load the environment details. So as I have already these APIs in my system, I don't want to import it. And this is how you can get the exercise which we have done in the API testing full course. You can find all the code which I have discussed in the rest assured API testing full course. You can search with the Buckupy and GitHub in the google.com, and here you can go to the my GitHub repository, and over here in the repositories tab you will find the rest assured API testing framework. You can go inside the this repository, and you can click on this code, and you can copy this URI, and by using this URI, and you can simply use the git in your local machine, and you can simply clone it by using the git clone, and followed by that specify the URL. So you will get the whole code which I have discussed in the rest assured API testing full course.